Welcome to the Pulse USA, where we provide insight, knowledge, and education on local businesses across the U.S.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Pulse USA podcast. Today, we have a very exciting guest on. We have Jeff Halpern of Halpern Real Estate Group of Howard Hanna Rand Realty. Jeff, I want to thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
It's great to be here, Bruce.
And the reason I brought you on, Jeff, is because there's so much uncertainty right now in the real estate market that I wanted to bring on a professional that really knew the ins and outs of the market and would give good insider advice to people that are looking to buy or sell a home today. With that said, why don't you give us a high-level overview of the real estate market today?
So, as we all know, the market is very local. Some areas are still seeing great market, seller's market, homes selling very quickly. Other markets, you're seeing a slowdown. Matter of fact, down south, Texas and Florida, their markets have slowed down. Where New Jersey, they're still appreciating. We're still having some bidding wars. We are still seeing little inventory, yet lots of buyers. And now with the real estate interest rates coming down, we're seeing even more buyers coming out of the woodwork because they can afford a little more. So I think it's a great time now to buy because prices aren't going up as quickly, but yet the rates are coming down. And I'm also seeing some houses that have been on the market a little longer than they were even 2 years ago.
And what is the average time, if a house is priced right, what is the average time it should be on the market today?
Well, it's still a seller's market. So you could see a house on the market for 2 weeks with offers and bidding wars, and then closing within 45 days after that.
Interesting. Not very long ago, a friend of mine said that his next door neighbor put the house on the market for what he thought was too high. And not only did they not get multiple bidders or start a bidding war, but they still haven't sold the home.
Wow. Yeah.
So what do you say to somebody if a realtor were to walk in their door and promise them that they should list the house for X or whatever the number is, and in your heart of hearts, you know that that number is too high? What do you tell that individual?
Well, so there's some agents out there that are so-called buying the listing. In other words, they're overpricing the house, giving the seller false hope that they're going to get these prices. Buyers know the market, not sellers, because buyers set the market. Matter of fact, I always look at what are the buyers' trends. Buyers know exactly what the markets are because they're the ones who are buying it. Agents usually follow to what direction they're going in. Sellers are always the last to know because the sellers are the ones that are saying, oh, my house is worth this much because my little Johnny grew up there, so there's more value to it. But they don't know the market. There are agents out there that are feeding on those sellers that think their house is worth more than what it is. And what they do is they put it overpriced and then they sort of beat the seller up to get the seller to bring the price down in order to get it sold. I'm in a transaction right now, Bruce, which the sellers put the house on the market for $539. I went to show it yesterday. They had reduced it $50,000 because it was overpriced. And now they're getting multiple people to take a look at the house, which they hadn't before. So now it's down at $489. My buyer put an offer in. I'm still negotiating. But how much time did it take for the seller to realize that the price was too high? It was on the market for almost 2 months on that higher price.
Wow, that's a
So,
long time. In this
yeah,
time right now in New Jersey,
yeah.
when you go into someone and they want you to list their home, what do you say to them if you don't agree on a listing price?
Well, it's their house. So you
Right.
have to give them the data. And what I do is I always do a collaborative pricing. I don't just say, well, based on this, your house is worth that. I let the seller look at what's sold, then what's under contract. And what's under contract, even though we didn't know what it sold for, we look at what the market tells us. Is that town selling for 100% of asking price? Or is it 98% of asking price? 103%. So then you have to sort of assume that that house that's listed at such a price sold at such a price. And then we also look at the ones that are unsold. Now, I call them unsold because they're not sold yet. They haven't been successfully sold. Where some agents say the active listings. No, to me, if they were active, they would have been sold. And you have to let the seller see those numbers and make them understand that their house is not their home anymore. It is a commodity in which sellers need to realize that their house is competing with every other house that's on the market. So they have to price their home to get it sold based on what's sold and what their competition is out there.
So years ago, when somebody was getting their house ready for sale, of course, they cleaned it up and they cleaned up the outside. But is it still prudent for them to decorate or paint the rooms again to get a fresh coat of paint on the rooms prior to selling?
Yes, it's not so much staging,
Right.
but it's really detailing.
Okay.
Detailing because when buyers take a look at a home, they use all their senses. And their senses is what's going to say, this is the house for me. Whether it's changing the front doorknob, because sometimes you open the door and the doorknob is pitted, it already starts that bad. When you walk in, you smell pets,
Right.
smoking, food, things like that. It's really not just paint. It's everything else involved, everything that touches their senses, what they hear, what they smell, what they see, what they feel when they walk in. Makes a big difference.
Absolutely. I can see that for sure, especially now with the shortage, of homes on the market. You want your home to stand out so that you get the highest value.
Yep, without a doubt. And there's so many things now involved too with what people are looking at. A couple of years ago, there were buyers that weren't even going through home inspections. They were actually deleting that contingency in the purchase because they want the house that badly. Buyers are getting a little more sophisticated. Now they're looking at more home inspection issues and asking the seller to take care of them. So the more the seller can do upfront, including disclosing things that are wrong with the house, which is required by law, the better chance they're going to get it sold to a buyer who's really thinking more about their value and what they're getting out of the house by the type of home they're buying. So the sellers have to be cognizant of that. It's a product. Better shelf position that you have on your product, the better chance you're going to sell the property.
Well, not only that, even though there aren't as many bidding wars, there still are bidding wars on a
Without a
home that's
doubt.
desirable, correct? And priced right.
Yep. There are definitely bidding wars. You're just not getting 40, 50, 60 offers on a house. Now
I
you're getting 5. That's all
Okay.
right. If
That's
I'm a
okay.
seller, I'll take
Look,
5 offers than looking at 100 offers because it makes it very difficult.
absolutely. No, I could see how that was. When you provide us a home analysis or a seller's analysis, what actually transpires in that?
Well, there's a lot more than people think.
I know.
We say it's this free market analysis. To me, means free is like, you'll come in and try to list my house. It's a lot more than that. I mean, before I come to a house, I talk to the seller on the phone. Say, okay, so tell me a little bit about your home. How many bedrooms? How many baths? What have you done to it? New kitchen, not new kitchen, and they'll give you all the information. Then I'll do an analysis before I go. Analysis will be coming up with, what is sold recently? What have you, what's under contract? What we talked about before. And then I'll establish a presentation which incorporates all the things that have sold, what they need to get ready to get their house sold. So what I do is I take care of that. I go visit the home. I walk through the house with the seller, looking at all the different rooms, going into the basement. Real estate agents don't like going into basements. That is the most important portion of your home, right?
Yeah,
How
absolutely.
old is the furnace? Some agents don't even know the difference between a boiler and a furnace. Or how many amps do you have in the electric? Does it look like there's a water line in the basement? All those things are really important as an agent to look for because sometimes sellers don't tell you or sometimes they just don't even know, you know, and then you go through the rest of the house. We do that. We spend time walking through the home, talking to the homeowner, asking what's the best part about the house, what's the worst part of the house, look at things that they've done since they bought a home, and ask questions like, have you ever gotten a permit for this? And was the permit closed? There's a lot of things that you have to talk to the seller about because the buyers are going to ask the same questions. So why not
Absolutely.
prepare? Then we
Absolutely.
sit down and we discuss the pricing. We discuss the marketing. We discuss how to detail the home to get the most out of the home, to get the highest price. And then, of course, we talk about my fee, but we talk more about the laws and how it pertains because it's changed a lot from when they bought. The laws have changed tremendously, and they've got to realize that too.
Absolutely. People don't realize when you say complementary analysis, there's significant number of hours that go into that because you want to help that client get the most value for their home. And in doing so, there's a lot of work on your behalf.
Yes. And sometimes for naught,
Yeah,
because
absolutely. Yeah,
either they aren't ready to sell today, they're
right,
just thinking about it, which is fine.
right.
I don't mind. Or maybe they have a relative in the business who they were just trying to verify what the relative had told them, which happens.
Okay.
Or
All right.
they end up choosing
Yeah,
someone who basically gave them a higher price, knowing as buying the listing.
I got you. All right. You recently told me about something you started, the Total Home Network. Why don't you let us know a little bit more about that? Because that seemed very interesting.
So I'm a big believer in teamwork. So I have my own little team of real estate agents under me and a couple marketing people, but we've developed what is known as the Total Home Network. And that's a comprehensive real estate support system that works together to help a seller or a buyer buy. So what we've done is we connect clients and professionals with trusted resources from start to finish and beyond closing. We simplify the process, strengthen relationships, and elevate outcomes by offering true support from the ground up. And this is something brand new, which
Yeah.
I
But
think it's going to be
this sounds exciting though,
awesome.
Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
going to be really awesome because everyone's, as an agent, people ask you, hey, do you know a good mortgage person? Do you know a good title person? Recommend an attorney. Do you know a plumber? Do you know, like they ask me about everybody. And I usually got a guy gal to do it, but now I've put a team together of people that I really rely on that do an amazing job. Like if I hand off my buyer or seller to the attorney in our group, Robert Wynecki, I know he's going to do a great job. And I know they're in great hands and I don't have to worry about it.
I don't think there's a one-stop shop for any home buyer or seller out there today with verified individuals that are trustworthy in one group. And that's great. I think you went above and beyond
Oh,
putting that group together. Really.
in the business, as long as I have, I know the importance of having a great team.
I know the people that are listening to this are going to have real estate questions that they want to reach out to you and ask you,
Mhm.
or they want to get a complimentary home evaluation or analysis from you. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can call me or text me at 201-317-7527. They can email me at jeffrey.halpern@randrealty.com, or they can go visit my valuation website. I actually call it the Jeff Stimate. Jeff Stimate.
Oh, that's clever.
I'll actually give you 2, 3 valuations and a buyer heat map.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah.
Listen, you provide a lot of really good information here today for the listeners, and I want to thank you very much for coming on, and I'm looking forward to having you on again. Jeff, thank you very much.
Bruce, this was great. Always good to speak with you and have a wonderful day.
Awesome.